What's going on, guys? My name is Morgan and welcome back to another video. So I don't remember who requested this. I'll try and find whoever did and put the comment here so that they're given credit. But someone asked if I could react to this video called The Part of Luz That Is Overlooked, a Psychoanalysis of Luz Noceda. It's funny because this actually appeared on my, I almost said For You page. Wow, I've been on too much TikTok, on my recommendations on YouTube, and I actually didn't watch it because I saw psychoanalysis and I'm like, that is a big word. I don't think I'm gonna understand that. But that was before someone requested I watch it, and usually I try and watch what you guys request. Obviously, I can't get to all of them because everyone requests so much, but I thought this one was interesting and it was a little different than the Owl House stuff we usually watch. So I figured I'd give it a go. This also has like 245,000 views, which is incredible. I've never heard of this person before, Bunny Skies. I'm just gonna look at their profile real quick. Okay, so they usually post like Owl House stuff. Sorry, my camera's being weird. It keeps shifting. So they say they're looking at a part of Luz that is overlooked. So I'm trying to think of like the parts that we have seen of Luz and like really explored on, and those would be in the show that are, you know, pretty talked about are Luz being bisexual, Luz being neurodivergent, Luz being traumatized, which, I mean, girl, aren't we all after King's Tide? Oh my lord. So I'm wondering what this video is going to be about and why someone wanted me to react to it. But I guess we'll see that. We'll see. Maybe it's just an interesting video and they think more people should see it. I don't know. I guess we'll see. And I also missed the Owl House, so this is how we're going to cope. If it looks like I was crying, it's because I was on TikTok and I saw an Owl House clip. So if it looks like I've been crying, that's why. I don't know how exactly I'm going to do this video. I'm going to try and put my input here and there, but it's an 18-minute video, and I'm assuming they're going to hit us with a lot of facts or, you know, complicated words. With a word like psychoanalysis, I'm assuming there's going to be big words, and I'm dumb, so I'm probably not going to understand them. So I might have to pause and like take it in. I don't know. We'll see. Disclaimer, I'm only a psychology student. I'm not a professional in that field yet. This video is not meant to be taken as medical advice or diagnosis. Duly noted.
When Luz was first introduced when the Owl House first premiered, she was seen as yet another bubbly, optimistic main character, something that had been a trend in cartoons
And
for
we
a
love
while.
her for
But
it.
as the series progressed, she was shown to be more complex and three-dimensional, beyond having a happy-go-lucky attitude. Her lack of friends back home, nobody being understanding of her interests, her dead dad, and not being able to confide with anyone else.
Why you gotta drop the dead dad in there? I wasn't ready. I don't know why, but ever since reaching out, whenever they mention Luz's dad, it just hits me with so many emotions, because I still feel bad. I still feel bad for her. I gotta rewind a bit, because...
Home, nobody being understanding of her interests, her dead dad, and not being able to confide with anyone else other than her mom. The girl has trauma, especially after
The girl
living
has
on the
trauma.
Boiling Isles. Everyone's aware of it. However,
Yeah.
there's one part of her character that is overlooked. And with the end of season 2, I think it's time we discuss. She's naive, impulsive, and doesn't really understand social cues sometimes.
Girl,
She
same
also
though.
has redeeming qualities such
Same
as
though.
being creative, determined, unconditionally kind, and supportive. And she
And
always
we love
wants
her
to
for
right
it.
her wrongs. Seems simple on paper, but what if a quality of hers is also a flaw? A mentally damaging one at that. Ladies and gentlemen, Luz Noceda is a people pleaser. And
Same though.
people pleasers are people who put others' needs before their own. Now, that alone doesn't sound bad, and being selfless isn't bad at all. But any good thing can become bad when it's taken to the extreme. A lot of times, people pleasers almost become addicted to the idea of sacrificing their needs and wants to feel like that they have a purpose, and it happens a lot more often than it should. Now, I want to stress, being a people pleaser isn't a mental illness by itself. People pleasing is associated with a personality trait called sociotropy. However, it seems very likely that the more destructive version of people-pleasing stems.
While editing this, I found a study that linked sociotrophy traits to a higher likelihood of developed generalized anxiety disorder. Link in the description if you want to. I'll look
More
into
for
that.
mental illness and trauma. People-pleasing can be done as a way
All
to
the
seek validation or keep relationships stable. And someone having those issues is indicative of some trauma. These sorts of things don't just appear, and I doubt simply being a selfless person on its own would create this unhealthy mindset. Now, back to Luz. Luz is obviously a very selfless person, falling into the personality trait of sociotropy. She's also very passionate about those that she cares about. However, she also puts a lot of blame on herself way too much, and is not hesitant.
Oh my god, I was not expecting to go into this and cry. I was expecting to be confused, not follow along with what this person was saying. But no, I'm completely understanding, and it's hitting me hard because I relate. God damn it, it's gonna be one of those, isn't it? Is this why whoever recommended it wanted me to watch this? Because you looked me up and down and you said, bitch, this is you.
And she wanted to take responsibility and fix her wrongs, although she was stubborn with asking for help. And although Amity didn't blame her,
same,
it
I can't
was
judge.
still partially Luce's fault that Amity lost her job. I say partially because Amity, girl, you could have asked your boss to get the book himself, you dumb lesbian. But Luce...
You dumb lesbian. Okay, but like, I can't blame Amity because as a simp, if a pretty girl asked me to do something I wasn't supposed to do at my job for her, I would do it. I would say, bills be damned, there's a pretty woman.
Luce going through trials to get her job back isn't unhealthy at all. It's sweet and selfless. So far you must be thinking,
and that's why we love you, Luce.
It sounds like Luce is just selfless and kind, so why are you considering her as a people pleaser? Let's take a look at the season 1 finale, Youngblood Old Souls.
Oh no,
now, nobody ever
this.
blames Luce for what happened to Ida. Not even Ida herself. So although she was the reason Ida got captured, the audience and the characters understand that Luce had good intentions. However, listen to Luce's dialogue.
I'm going to rescue her. Please try to understand. Ida is in this.
Just like how some people pleasers can set boundaries for some things and struggle to set them in other scenarios, Luce takes all the blame for a specific part, which usually includes helping the situation to happen to begin with.
It's in this situation because of me, because of my stupid choice. I have to make up for it, but I can't. It's my fault you needed to save me.
I hate this
It's my fault you got captured.
She doesn't cut herself any slack whatsoever. She goes straight to rescuing Ida herself to right her wrongs. Now that alone is something anyone can experience, and Luce going to fight a magical British guy from her owl mom is peak.
A magical British guy.
It isn't an isolated incident, and it's not forgotten either. Season 2, Episode 1, Separate Tides. The entire premise is how Luce feels like a burden and still feels at fault for Ida losing her magic, and them financially struggling.
Okay, but this episode always gets me so upset for Luce just constantly blaming herself for everything.
Well, Ida wouldn't be in this situation if it weren't for me. Maybe it would be better if I never came here. Heard what he said, Ida. If you and King want to be free, then I have to do this alone.
What's this alone business? Don't you remember? Us weirdos have to...
What? Stick together? Because you stuck with me, you lost your magic. You almost got turned to stone, and now you can't even afford your
I was not expecting to cry in this video. I should just stay on TikTok.
That's why I've got to do this alone. I'll make it all up to you, Ida the Owl Lady. I promise.
And I don't have
So she
tissues
goes
because I
all
didn't
out
think I was going to be
endangering
crying.
herself while doing so. She knows full well about the risks. Ida has a much needed talk with Luce and everything is solved. Right? If only it was that easy. If it were, their possessions would only be 5 minutes. Then we
Dead
skip to
ass.
Hollow Mind in the following episodes after. Luce learns that she inadvertently helped a genocidal maniac with his plan to kill off all the witches. Yeah, not gonna do great for the psyche. Luce is absolutely traumatized by this, but listen again to her dialogue.
We have to stop Bellows. I was a part of his plan.
She never once says, I didn't know, or I couldn't have known it was him, which are both reasonable responses to the conflicts, cause there was no way Luce could have known. However, trusting a 1600s Puritan pilgrim was a bad move. Luce is once again blaming herself. And what is the first thing that she does?
I'm gonna stop Bellows from completing the draining spout.
She wants to be directly involved with stopping him. She might have been wanting to take the Crusty Man down since the season 1
The
finale,
Crusty Man.
but it went into overdrive here to the point where Ida and her have a fight because Ida, reasonably so, wants to keep Luce safe. Cause she's a child. She shouldn't have this responsibility hanging on her. Luce thinks otherwise, though.
You're sending me away?
Why do we have to keep playing the sad scenes, man?
Why couldn't you just let me help with your stupid plan?
I am relating to Luce so much right now. I'm sorry I'm not talking a lot. I'm just trying to take it all in. This is a lot. This is not at all what I was expecting when I opened this video. I feel like the person that made this video is like psychoanalyzing me. Whatever the word is, me. I didn't realize I can lose this much, but I do. God damn it. And now my tailbone hurts. I can't win. The thing with the people pleaser, like, I'm such a people pleaser, and it's not a good thing. It really isn't. Like, to a certain point it is, but I feel like I suffer from the same people-pleasing Luz does, where it's self-destructive. And it's just, oh my god. Oh, I don't know. I'm sorry I'm not saying a lot. It's just, this is a lot to take in, and this is, like, it's coming for me in a way I do not appreciate.
Well, it isn't her first instinct. In a split second of running, she wants to go get Ida instead of head for safety. Amity gets her to run to safety, but then Luz decides to stay behind in the crumbling building to keep the portal open and to get Ida. Girl, you know you're gonna die, right? Like, come on. And I think she knows that it's a possibility of that. She might
I know this would mean Luz would be endangering King. She would absolutely rather save him than
only be
herself.
promising she'll find a way so that Amity and Co can go through the portal. She knows how they are. Remember when I brought up the ruse that was earlier in the episode? It's not out of character for Luz to do that at all. Of course, her promising doesn't work, obviously. Luz is blasted through the portal by King Scream with the rest of the Hex Squad into the human realm, concluding the second season. Obviously, Luz has a lot of trauma from that alone, but Dana's artwork
Girl, don't we all?
tells something different. Luz's expression and body language here is off. She's angry and cold, and her arms are in her pockets.
I didn't notice this when I saw it.
Amity back. She's closed off. But compare that to Hunter, who also looks very angry, but he's hugging Willow and Gus. He's at least becoming more open, as opposed to Luz, who is becoming more closed off. Now put this into perspective. Luz already feels at fault for the Day of Unity happening to begin with. Now put that on top of not knowing if Ida or the entirety of the Boiling Isles is alive. We know Ida is alive, because we're the audience, but Luz doesn't know that. She also doesn't know if her little brother King is safe, and there's an extremely powerful godlike child wreaking havoc. Luz thinks it's all her fault. And with her behavior beforehand, she is not giving herself any excuses or benefit of the doubt, which she does for most people. She's angry at herself, feeling like an awful person, and she's stuck in the human realm with no way to help. And her trying to fix her mistakes was at least giving her some sense of sanity, or like she was a good person, even if at a lot of times it was unhealthy. She doesn't have that now. Luz is gonna be stuck, unable to fix what she sees as her mistake, putting the almost or possible deaths of millions onto herself. And she's powerless to do anything right now, like she's a failure and has no purpose. Luz is gonna start closing herself off in fear of making another mistake or feeling like a monster. Hell, if it gets extremely bad, she may even compare herself to Philip, contradicting and mirroring the scene.
I'm not like you!
Just showing how low her self-worth is. Okay, we've come to the conclusion that Luz is traumatized and developed these behaviors after almost losing Ida. However, it isn't that clean cut.
Why can't it be? You already got me crying over here. Why can't it just be clean cut? Alright, before we get into whatever this next part is, we're only halfway through the video, god damn it. Them going into detail about how Luz hates herself is just so fucking sad. Because we all know Luz is trying her best. And this video was making me realize how much I kin Luz. I always thought I was an Amity kinny, but apparently I might be more a Luz kinny because of all the stuff Luz is dealing with. And she's a people pleaser. She defines her self-worth based on helping other people, and if she can't help, she feels worthless. And like, that is hitting such a chord with me. Also, we are 10 minutes into this video. This person that is doing this video, I don't know their pronouns, so I'm not trying to assume. So I'm just gonna go with they. They have made me realize more of my own issues in the 10 minutes this video has been going on than the 10 minutes I went to a licensed therapist. And it's all hitting me really hard right now, making sense of the self-hatred and the worthlessness, the feeling of worthlessness, and it's a lot to take in. And I feel like I'm always crying in these fucking videos, but I can't help it, I'm a sensitive bitch. Marcy's on the floor, okay. Mar, she's too busy cleaning herself. She said, you are gonna be an emotional wreck when I'm done, so you just have to wait.
The root of this is Luz's self-worth, because it isn't just her obsession with self-sacrifice. It's about putting too much blame onto herself. That repeated behavior can't be stemmed from the events of the season 1 finale alone, which is why I ask that we look at something I know seems unrelated. Luce's way of helping people in most situations. She does these grand gestures, being selfless. Here is my theory on why Luce does all these grand gestures, specifically, aside from being a creative and spontaneous person by nature. And it all stems from 3 specific scenes in the show that display Luce's past. Let's look at the first.
Mija, I love your creativity, but it's
Oh,
getting out of
not this
hand.
scene.
Do you
This scene
remember why
always
you were in the
upsets
principal's
me.
office the last 3 times?
It's very odd that Luce would go from this to this. That's cause they're out of order in the episode. Luce's antics get more extreme and dangerous.
The actual order of events leading up to the book's report.
And I don't think it's due solely to her creative spark. Her
Okay, so it was the I think first, and then the Griffin, and then Romeo and Juliet.
classmates don't like her. It's pretty obvious. So it seems like she pushes more and more to try to impress them. Now let's look at the second clip.
Asking her out should be breathtaking, emotional.
Oh no!
real.
Please don't
Everyone
play
at home
that
said
scene
I
from
was
the love tunnel, the tunnel of love.
Oh no, I'm gonna be made fun of again.
I knew it! I hate that fucking scene so much. I remember seeing that scene when I rewatched it.
I'm gonna be made fun of again.
She's gonna get made fun of again. Oh no! In the reaction video, and I lost my mind. I was like, what do you mean get made fun of again? She got made fun of for having crushes in the human realm. That's so fucking sad. And it's triggering me all over again, god damn it.
Thought that she was cheesy, which means unlike Amity, she may have experience with crushes back home, which is why she's fretting over her confession being perfect. She's so afraid of rejection, honestly.
Girl,
because
same!
She already knows Amity likes her. She kissed her, for fuck's sake. She thinks that Amity will change her mind instantly if she's cheesy or just herself. That's extremely sad. Now, let's look
Yeah,
at
it
the final
is.
clip, and it's the most important.
Cool, talking rats. Maybe they know something. Okay, you gotta be careful approaching high schoolers. Mark all your exit routes and... Actually, these guys are cool. Ah, wait! Hey! Hello! Oh, she's gonna embarrass herself.
Luce would rather talk to rats than people her own age, aside from the people in the demon realm.
Girl,
which I'll
same
get to
though.
that.
Like, I am like that. Like, I joke about it a lot, but if I'm at a party, I'm not able to cope, but at the moment there is an animal at that party, that animal's my best friend. The animal's the only thing I'm talking to. This video I'm literally gonna have to rename this reaction video, I'm now a loose kitty. Like,
That. She is so used to rejection and mockery that she doesn't even try to make relationships. She doesn't know how to
Same,
socialize
Luce.
with them because every time she's tried, they've ostracized her. Luce indulges in fantasy as a way to cope, and she's more sociable in the demon realm because she knows she'll feel less out of place there. Let me repeat that. Luce feels like she belongs more in a different realm than hers. She won't be labeled weird for the same reason. She's labeled as weird because she's a human, not because of her interests or actions. She still longs for people to accept her back home, though. Everyone wants human connection. It's in our nature and the road to happiness. She wants to prove that she can be a witch because being herself back home isn't enough for them.
So into all this entertainment, the acting for himself, all these habits, because he's so alone.
Yeah.
And when we don't have real connection, we sacrifice. You know, we get really into TV shows. We get really into movies. I mean,
Is
even
that
more
why
so
I am the way I
to
am?
the point where we're out of balance because we don't want to have actual relationships.
Luce's trauma prior to the Boiling Isles with being bullied and ostracized had an impact on her self-worth, making her unconsciously do extreme things to earn the approval of her peers, even when it's not needed. For Luce, doing these off-the-wall things and wanting to become a witch comes from her want to be accepted. Obviously, she has an interest in being a witch, but a part of it feels connected to the want for acceptance. Luce's self-worth is practically non-existent when she's not being determined. And I hate to say it, but Camila didn't help things. I love her, I do. And she really loves Luce's creativity, as she said herself, and she isn't harsh. However, her wording here is very...
But I don't like any of that stuff. I like editing anime clips to music and reading fantasy books with convoluted backstories.
Mija, your fantasy world is holding you back. Do you have any
I
friends?
hate this
Real
scene so
ones.
much.
Not imagined or drawn or
Reptilian.
Summer camp is a chance to make some friends.
Camila isn't wrong to take notice of Luz being extremely invested in fiction and not having friends, but inadvertently comes off as her blaming Luz and her interest for not having any friends. Okay, that's hitting me a little hard.
What? You have to try. Can you do that?
Yes, Mom.
Yikes. She's inadvertently putting the blame on Luz and her interests instead of thinking about.
I'm so glad they said that, because literally any time I've ever talked about my problem with Camila, like treating the situation the way she did, people come at me. They're like, how could you say such a thing? She's a good mom. And it's like, I didn't say she wasn't a good mom. I just said she didn't handle it in a good way. And as someone who has been threatened to be sent away as a teenager around Luz's age, that's traumatizing. And this is making me relive my trauma every time I watch this fucking clip. And I'll talk about that more once the video's over with. Oh my god, this fucking video, man. I would have preferred to just been confused than personally attacked. God damn it.
the bullies or how to get Luz to socialize without taking away her interest. Camila had good intentions, but it could have been handled better. She's not a bad parent at all. She
Thank
just
you
made
for
a
saying
mistake,
that.
But I'm certain that she's gonna make up for it. Luz is
I hope she
thankfully in a
does.
supportive and loving environment, but that alone isn't gonna fix years of ostracization and lack of self-worth and unhealthy coping mechanisms. Luz is a people pleaser and struggles from doing too much self-sacrifice and having a lack of self-worth. I'm going off script here,
Same.
but the reason I really wanted to make this video is that I myself struggle from what Luz is going through right now. I had a very similar childhood, and I was scared of people making fun of my interests. I wasn't directly bullied about them, but I had that fear.
Sweetie,
And
I'm so
unfortunately,
sorry.
I never really learned how to socialize, along with other factors. I socialize a lot better in online groups where I know that they share my interests, but when it comes to new people, I really do struggle. And I tend to put too much blame on myself. I apologize a lot of the time, and unlike Luz, I do have trouble setting boundaries. It's something that I'm working on, and I honestly think we should talk about people who do suffer from this. Again, it's not a mental illness by itself, but I still feel like it should be talked about, because being a people pleaser, just like in the moderate sense, is okay and doesn't really need looking at. But if it does get to an extreme, which it has for me, to the point where it almost felt like an addiction and debilitating, I do think that it does need to be talked about. And the fact that Deanna most likely is showing this in her show, I think that's incredible. So yeah, I just wanted to put my own little personal blurb in here. I've been through this. I've had fear of rejection, abandonment. I've been where Luz is right now. But
Why are we
yeah,
the same
like,
person?
along with me being a psych major, I'm able to see these things because I myself have gone through them. I know this is very off script, but I just wanted to put that there. In conclusion, therapy now.
I tried. It didn't work. I was not expecting them to end that video by saying how much they relate and how they've been through similar situations. That just broke my heart. They seem like such a genuine, like, kind, smart person. They're so well spoken. Even that part when they went off script, they are more organized in their way of talking than I am when I write something out. Okay? I need to message this person right now, okay? I need to. Please tell me they have social media or something. I literally need to message this person. This person needs to, like, be my friend. Oh, thank God. Okay, they do have an Instagram. Oh, thank God. I used they, them the entire time. They're non-binary. Oh, thank God. That was clever on my part. I'm slowly getting better with the pronouns. Until the Owl House, I always assumed someone's gender, which was very bad of me, but the Owl House actually got me to not assume people's genders, and if I don't know, just say they, them, which Rain taught me. But yeah, they're non-binary. I couldn't say that word. Yay. Okay, I'm gonna message them. So this is Future Morgan coming at you. I forgot to turn my camera back on because I took a short break, but the audio kept recording. So I'm gonna try and supplement it with images this last half instead of re-recording it because the emotions in the audio were very genuine, and I'm not going to be able to replicate that if I try and do it again. So I'm just going to put in random clips. I don't know what they're going to be of, but I just wanted to give you a heads up that the rest of this video is going to be just pictures. I don't know what. It's not going to be the way the video up until this point has been. It's just going to be like images or something. I'm not really sure. Maybe clips from the Owl House. I don't know, but yeah, just want to let you know. Oh my god. I was not expecting that video to be like that. I was expecting to be confused, have some terminology thrown at me I didn't understand, and then that would be it. And then I'd be like, oh cool, I learned something new about Luz. But no, I got handed my ass to me. That person that wanted me to watch this, why did you want me to watch this? Is it because you saw me and you were like, bitch, this is you. This is you. Because I feel like that must have been the case. I didn't realize how much I kin Luz. I've always said I'm an Amity kinny, but I literally kin Luz so much now. Everything, all the points they brought up about Luz, I just felt on such a level. Bunny Skies is still going to college for this? Okay, you helped me identify more of my own issues than my therapist of 10 years did. Okay? That's incredible. And I've also probably cried more in that video than I did at therapy. Because that's how much it struck a personal chord with me. Oh my god, that was so well done. Like, I really want to do, like, a recap, but my mind's, like, all over the place. There's also, like, I want to say how I feel and identify with these things, but I also don't want to get too personal and make anyone uncomfortable. So it's like, I don't know what to do. I really doubt this is going to be a thing. But if you guys are interested in me doing a video on why I kin certain characters, and it's going to be a deep video because I got a lot of psychological issues, if you couldn't tell by me just being me. Ooh, I'm mentally ill. Let me know in the comments if you would want a video like that, because I will be more than happy to do it. I'm all about being open about mental illness and things like that. I'm just not trying to trigger anyone that didn't come to this video for that, because it can be very triggering. You couldn't tell by me sobbing through that entire video. But it was triggering in a good way, because it was very eye-opening, and it helped me understand Luz better. This person's channel is also super amazing. Like, I am subscribing right this second. That was fantastic. I'm just gonna vaguely go over, like, the points that I really, like, sympathized with. The people pleaser thing. A lot of you could probably tell from my YouTube videos, I really try and go out of my way to please people and to make people happy. As someone that suffers from depression, I know what it's like to feel constantly empty and sad and just not want to exist. So, my cat's losing her mind, so I'm sorry if you can hear that in the background. My emotional support cat's like, you're crying and you're not petting me. What is the meaning of this? But yeah, that's why I make videos, because I enjoy connecting with people and making people realize that they're not alone and that, you know, this is a normal thing to feel. And if you have these problems, it's okay to talk about them, and you shouldn't feel like you can't talk about them to somebody, because I feel like even these days, mental health is so stigmatized. Like, Luz always seemed like the person to want to do the right thing, and that's always what I associated with her character, was just like wanting to do the right thing, be a good person. I never thought of it as being a people pleaser, but now that that thought has been put in my head, I'm like, that makes sense. That makes sense. And it's when you are a people pleaser and you want people to like you and you want people to approve of you, you get it. Because it's such a losing battle, because like I said before, there's no way everyone's going to approve of you, and especially when you've been ostracized and, like, made fun of for the things that you like, or you have unresolved trauma, or if you're like me, you went to therapy for 10 years and were just gaslit the entire time by the therapist, and you literally would leave the appointments feeling worse than when you went in. That was fun. That was a fun 10 years. And I'm sorry if it seems like I'm joking about this. This is just how I deal. This is how I deal with uncomfortable situations, is I laugh or I cry. There's no in between. I was so glad, though, when Bunny Skies brought that up, that Camila isn't a bad parent, but she didn't go about it the best way when she decided to send Luz to camp to make her normal, because that's taking away her comfort thing. And that's what my parents did. I'm just going to get a little bit in depth here. There's a trigger warning of self-harm. And I'm going to try not to cry when I tell this. I literally just relived this today. I was literally living through all my trauma before I went to bed and was just crying. One of the reasons my parents sent me to therapy in 7th grade was because I still liked cartoons. And I was a freshman in high school. I was still going to therapy because, like I said, I went for about 10 years. And I still liked cartoons. And my parents were telling me, like, you got to get over this childish obsession. You can't watch cartoons anymore. You need to, get in touch with the reality, blah, blah, blah. And that just struck such a chord with me. Like, and especially since, like, I had been suffering with depression already and anxiety. And cartoons were, like, the one thing that brought me a sense of comfort. Because it, like, brought me back to my childhood when I was happy, when I wanted to be alive, things like that. And, my dad essentially, like, yelled at me one night, and it might sound stupid to some people, but he literally told me, like, you can't watch cartoons anymore, you're done. This is childish, you need to act your age. And it was like a long thing. I don't remember exactly, like, the details. All I remember is I went up in my room, I slammed the door shut, and I took a cardboard cutter I had, and I just cut up and down my arms, because I was just so mad, and just upset, and just, I would just, like, I had, like, a breakdown. I want to say, like, half hour later, I go to the bathroom to, like, clean the cuts or whatever, and my dad sees me, and he sees my arm, and he goes, get in the car. I was like, what do you mean? He goes, get in the fucking car. So he forced me to get in the car with him, and then he drives me to the hospital, and he sits me out there, and he says, I should just let them take you. I should just let them take you. I should take you to a mental hospital, because clearly you're not well if you're hurting yourself, and you're making such a big deal out of this, and blah, 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 blah. And then, like, I was crying, because I'm like, please don't. And, like, this still traumatizes me to this day, like, oh, and then after that, after he threatened, we were probably out in the parking lot for like 20 minutes, and he kept threatening me, like, I'm gonna bring you in there, we're never gonna see you again, you're gonna be locked away, because you're crazy, because you're hurting yourself. And then after that, he brought me to the fucking police station. Like, I was a freshman in high school, okay, I don't understand how laws worked and things like that, and he was telling me, like, I'm gonna let him take you, because you're a danger to yourself, and blah, 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 blah. And, like, we sat outside the freaking police headquarters for about 20 minutes, and he just kept threatening to, like, make me go in. Like, he was like, I'm gonna leave you, we're never gonna see you again, we're gonna leave you. And so then after that happened, we went home or whatever, and I just went in my room and just, cried all night. And my father figured, that's gonna solve the issue, but it didn't, because I just started cutting myself, like, here upwards. But yeah, most of my self-harm scars actually did fade. It's also been over 11 years since that incident, so they've had time to fade, and like I said, they weren't really deep. But yeah, long story short, it didn't work, and I would just cut myself from, like, my sleeves up, because then no one in my family would see them, because I always wore short sleeves. And I would also cut myself on my chest and my back, and I just sympathized so much with Luz when what Camila did was by no means that significant or whatever, but it's just rejecting your child's interests, because you don't think that's what they should be focusing on, is just something I sympathize with Luz with, because it's like, you just want to like what you like. You just want to vibe with people you vibe with, and that's it. But some people don't accept that, and it's just really sad. And then there's the thing of wanting to make things right. Like, when I mess up, I will just, I to this day, I was doing this today before I fell asleep. I was literally thinking about all the things I've did that I've messed up before, and I still dread them. Like, I thought about something I did in middle school, and I was thinking about that today, and I was just like, I can't believe I did that, what's wrong with me? I was just, like, still beating myself up about it. I was not expecting to go into this much detail in this video. Yeah, okay, I think I've blabbered on long enough. I could make a different video if you guys want. I'd have to write out notes and things like that and kind of plan it out, because as you can tell, when I face my emotions and things make me upset, my brain just a little haywired. But, yeah, that's gonna be it for this video, guys. Let me know what you guys thought about this in the comment section below. Also, go subscribe to Bunny Skies. This person deserves so many more subscribers. That video was incredible. They also post a lot of Owl House content, so I subscribe myself, so you should as well. I look forward to what they post in the future. So, thank you guys so much for watching. As always, I will see you in the next video. Peace.